everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger with SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, January 11th through Sunday, January 17th, 2016. So we're going to talk a little bit first about the astrology of the week like we normally do, and then when we get to the card portion of our reading, I'm going to be using Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck for the main message for everyone. And I have a new deck that I'm excited to use depending on your stone of choice for your special message card. It is actually called Angel Answers Oracle Cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Perhaps some of you have this deck or have seen this deck. And again, I'm excited to use it for the first time for this weekly reading. It actually was a Christmas gift from a very dear friend of mine, Reverend Cherie from Angel Messenger. So let's take a look first at your stones of choice so you can think about which one you're going to pick for your special message. The first stone of choice is actually a clear quartz pyramid. And this clear quartz pyramid, as you can see, has a point at the top, as most pyramids do, and that's going to be a bringing down of divine guidance. And actually, because it is clear quartz, it really does relate to the crown chakra. So this is opening your crown chakra to clear and divine guidance from universal source God or from your angels and guides. And this is more of direct information, so if you want clear and direct answers, hopefully this is your stone of choice, and hopefully the card will reflect that clear and direct answer that you're looking for. Your second stone of choice is an amethyst cluster. And this amethyst cluster is in the shape of a heart. And this was another gift a while back from a dear friend of mine. I believe it was when she took a trip to Colorado, which was right before my trip to Colorado last fall. But she brought this back for me, and this heart shape, of course, is going to relate to the heart chakra, whereas the amethyst relates to the crown chakra. The fact that it's a cluster stone actually brings in other people as far as group energy or associations with other people. This can be a stone that deals with humanitarian pursuits with those of like mind or those that share a common ideal or goal working together. And of course, with it being the heart chakra, we're working out of unconditional love and that highest source of blessed universal energy. Your last stone of choice is selenite. This is a selenite wand, a very small selenite wand. And selenite does relate to being able to get in touch with your past lives as well as your future lives. It helps you to get in touch with angelic guidance and assistance. It's a beautiful white stone that is very kind of luminescent or iridescent, and it just really has a really beautiful, loving, nice energy. Again, relating to the crown chakra. So all of these stones, and I didn't think about it when I chose them for this reading, but they all do relate to the crown chakra in some way and opening up to that higher wisdom and higher guidance. So again, your stones of choice are the clear quartz pyramid, the amethyst cluster heart, and the selenite wand. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the astrology for the week. We start out on Tuesday, the 12th of January, with the planet Venus in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's making a beautiful, harmonious trine aspect to Uranus and Aries. Now, Venus is the planet of the divine feminine, the planet of love and relationships, but it also rules finances and money as well. The sign of Sagittarius that it is in right now is very freedom-oriented. And interestingly enough, the planet Uranus is a very freedom-oriented, independent kind of planet as well. And it's in the sign of Aries, which is initiating this new beginning. And Uranus is in Aries for quite a long time. It has been, and it will continue to be. But it's initiating that higher vibration of the path of humanity to open up to a new way, a better way. A way that is going to be beneficial for all of us. But with it coming together on Tuesday with Venus, I really feel like there is a huge sense of freedom with this, since we have one sign, Sagittarius, that's freedom-oriented, and Uranus, that planet that's freedom-oriented. And this is really dealing with divine feminine energies. I feel like this is awakening the divine feminine energy. This is awakening our sense of freedom. This is awakening our sense of wanting to kind of be in charge of our own destiny path and our own life and our own direction. And I just feel like this is a very kind of shining energy. So it's really positive, and it's really allowing us to kind of move into a sense of good, positive self-worth, because Venus rules our self-worth as well. And I just feel like we start to feel a lot lighter and a lot freer with that. Now, the rest of the energy for the week is quite interesting, because on Wednesday we have the Sun, which is still in the sign of Capricorn, and it's going to be making a beneficial trine aspect again to the planet Jupiter. But remember, Jupiter just went retrograde as of last week in the sign of Virgo. So here we have kind of a going within to understand our belief systems surrounding our goals, our goals and ambitions. And this is related to career and destiny path and who we want to be in the world, because the Sun is our identity, and Capricorn is that sign of the zodiac that does deal with our goals and our career. So with this Sun and Jupiter trine going on, I feel like it's giving us a chance to, again, kind of rework our belief systems or go in and maybe adjust them if need be. Because Jupiter is that planet of expansion, wanting to be positive, and Virgo kind of contracts a little bit and looks at the details. Rather than the big picture like Jupiter likes to look at, Virgo likes to look at the details and take little small steps, whereas Jupiter wants to make big leaps. So it's kind of difficult for Jupiter to be in Virgo, but now that it's retrograde, it's kind of reworking things. It's reworking those steps that we've already taken on our career path or on our destiny path. And I feel like this is giving us an opportunity to, again, to just kind of redo or rework or understand what the next step is, what the next small step is. And then on Thursday, a little bit similar energy, because on Thursday the 14th, the Sun then comes together with Mercury, which again went retrograde last week in the sign of Aquarius, but now it's retrograded back into Capricorn already, because it only got up to 0 degrees Aquarius before going retrograde. So the Sun is in Capricorn, Mercury is in Capricorn, but Mercury is retrograde. So again, we're just going over again the ideas that we've come up with, even reworking communications as well, because Mercury rules ideas, thoughts, communications. So all of these things, again, in regards to our destiny path and our life path and our career path, is being reworked at this time. Also on Thursday, Mercury then comes to meet up with Jupiter. And Mercury, again, is retrograde, and Jupiter is retrograde. So again, we have this internal process that's going on. So these energies on Wednesday and Thursday, dealing with Jupiter and dealing with Mercury, because they are both retrograde, is more of a going within and understanding things on an inner level than they are in the outer world. Now, it doesn't mean things in the outer world or your external circumstances won't happen. That potential is still there. But a lot of this is reworking our own thought processes, reworking our own ideas about where we want to go and who we want to be and how we're going to get there, and in a way, the timing of getting there. Remember, with Mercury retrograde, things might take a little longer to move forward or to be able to manifest externally. So again, just a time period to really maybe make lists, write down steps that need to be taken, and don't get frustrated if it takes a little bit longer, or if you find that there's miscommunication or things that need to be redone, because this is giving us the opportunity to make sure that we're doing them right, to make sure that we're doing them according to our highest good. And maybe we need to be redirected. We might come in with some new information or new clarity or new messages from our angels and guides during this Mercury retrograde that helps to redirect us in a better way. Then on Friday and Saturday, as we get towards the weekend this week, The moon is in Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's the sign of initiation and new beginnings. Now, the moon, of course, is how we feel. It's our emotions. And during those 2 days, depending on where you are in the world, the moon is actually going to connect with several different planets in different ways. First, it connects with Saturn, which is a planet of manifestation. And because Saturn right now is in the sign of Sagittarius, it's helping us to manifest our blessings. Although, again, there's a time factor with that because Saturn rules time. The moon will then go on to connect with Pluto and then Uranus, which brings a lot of transformation and changes, as it always does. This huge time period over the last few years of Pluto and Uranus coming together again and again and again have been really allowing humanity to evolve, to open up, to awaken, to redirect our energies, to be more in alignment with our truth and our authenticity. The moon in Aries then moves on to make a positive aspect to Venus in Sagittarius, which is going to be very uplifting in its energies, in, I think, feeling good and feeling positive, feeling inspired to take whatever next steps we need to. But then the moon in Aries will then challenge or create a challenging aspect to Mercury in Capricorn and the sun in Capricorn. So there might be just, a little bit of snafus, or again, a little bit of reworking of energies because of the Mercury retrograde going on. So all in all, this is a very positive week, although to me feels like somewhat of an internal week of, again, readjusting some of the ways we think and in the ways that we believe about what we can really accomplish in our lives. So let's go ahead, and I have meditated and shuffled the Angel Tarot deck, but let's just do that just a little bit more. And I'm going to choose 3 cards right off the bat, not looking at any of them. And we'll set those aside here before looking at the first one. So just giving this a little bit of a shuffle here. And you can do this with me. You can call in the angels and archangels, the ascended masters, to bring forth whatever messages is in our highest and best interest to know for this week. So I'm just going to shuffle these and ask for them to show me what cards we need. There's the first one. There's the second one. And there's the third one for the week. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Wonderful. The first one is Unity. This is Major Arcana number 5 with Archangel Sandalphon. The message at the bottom says traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. And so right away, I feel with this card, they are talking about the fact that we're connecting with other people. Now remember, with the astrology that's going on this week, we're kind of reworking ideas and reworking our thoughts and taking our time to make sure that we're on track. And I feel like we might need to seek out those that maybe have the information that we're lacking, or those that have an expertise in a particular area that we might need to take that next step on our path, to make that forward movement. So the first thing we need to do is network and come together with other people that maybe can assist us, give us information, give us some guidance, give us maybe some ideas. Maybe these people are people that you need to brainstorm with to be able to move forward. Now, there's all these different symbols here, these different religious symbols, a cross, the Star of David. And another thing that's coming through with this card is to remember that nobody necessarily is right or wrong, but you do have certain ways of thinking or certain ideas that are right for you. In other words, the next step that's right for you may not necessarily be what someone else thinks is in your best interest. And that's okay, because their thoughts and their beliefs are right for them, but your thoughts and your beliefs are right for you. So even though you're brainstorming with others and connecting with others and getting some information and perhaps some guidance, just be aware that when it comes down to it, you have to follow your heart. You have to follow what you believe your inner truth is. And that's not to say, again, that their information isn't valid or beneficial in some way, but you just always have to go with what your intuition says is right for you. But I still feel, again, that this connection with other people in this week is going to help to maybe expand your vision in some way, or allow you to look at things from a different perspective than maybe you originally looked at. So take some time and digest what that new information is, or digest what it is that they're suggesting. Don't just right away think, well, that's not for me, or that's not right, that's not what I want. It may in fact be not what you want. It may in fact be not right for you. But at the same time, give it a little bit of time, because Mercury and Jupiter are retrograde, to just kind of go within and feel it out and digest it. Let's take a look at what the second card is. Wow, we have another major arcana. So major arcana number 8. This is the Justice card with Archangel Raguel, and it says fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right, which we just said, and stand up for your beliefs. Okay, so this to me is a card of empowerment. This kind of goes back again and reiterates to do what is right for you, to stand in your truth, to stand in your authenticity, to own your personal power in making the choices and decisions that are best for you. Now, at the same time, we want to stay balanced. When I look at this, and we have two pillars here with Archangel Raguel in the middle of these pillars, there's this sense of balance that we have to keep. So in other words, because you're empowering yourself or standing in your power doesn't mean that there needs to be a disempowering of someone else or someone else's way of thinking or believing. We're all here and we're all interconnected. We're all a part of the one. So as that, we all come from the same source, the same energy, but at the same time we have our individual experiences, which is signified by the pillars here. We are all individuals standing in our own truth and following our own path, although we can come together, which is Archangel Raguel in the middle, kind of bringing those pillars together. We can all still come together and be on the same page, even if we have some differences of opinions. And so we have to allow other people to be empowered in their own energy, as well as empowering ourselves in our own energy, and to support one another, no matter what it is we believe or where it is that we're at on our path. Let's take a look at what the third card for the week is. Wow, can you believe this? We have 3 major arcanas, which whenever we have any major arcanas, but in this case we have 3 out of 3 cards, major arcana, this is saying that it's a really important week for growth and evolution of our souls. Doesn't always mean there's going to be a lot of, again, external activity, although that could be. But we're definitely saying that whatever's going on as far as our individual souls and acknowledgement of the growth energies we're going through, the lessons that we're going through, the changes that we're going through, and connecting with our own higher self and using our own inner intuition or inner guide to make the choices that are best for us. This really brings a lot of evolution and growth on our paths. Now, this particular card is called Life Experience in this deck, and it is with, Archangel Chamuel. It says, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is called the Tower card, which to a lot of people can be quite scary, but the Tower card is about huge change and transition. And in fact, the Tower card usually does mean that this huge change and transition comes in an external way with the situations and circumstances around us. So we may, in fact, in this week be dealing with some significant changes in our environment, in our circumstances, in our goals, in our career, in our family, in our relationships, perhaps. But by judging the cards and feeling out the energies, I feel like a lot of this deals, well, actually the angels and guides are saying this is just about the destiny path in general. And for each of us, the destiny path in general could be right now dealing more about relationships, or could be more dealing about finances and money, or home and family, or the career and life path. So I really feel like as they're talking to me, this isn't necessarily about just career and destiny path. But this is saying that there's huge changes that are happening. There's huge leaps that we're taking on an evolutionary level. Okay, so I go back and I think about Jupiter being retrograde and Mercury being retrograde, and how they're connecting with one another, and with the Sun in Capricorn, and how Venus is in here in the mix as well with Uranus. And this is allowing us to move towards this sense of spiritual freedom that we're seeking within ourselves and within our lives. So I feel like these powerful changes, and again, as I was talking about the Tower card, it's the Tower card usually shows a lightning bolt coming down and hitting a tower, meaning that the old structures or the old ways of our lives goes through a huge reawakening, or a huge death and rebirth, so to speak, a huge shaking up of the energies. It usually means the old way goes away, and this allows for a new and better way to take its place. So whatever this is that's going on this week, it's very huge and transformational for our soul, for our path, for our journey. So really pay attention again on an inner level to what these energies may be all about. So again, we have Unity, which is the Hierophant in the regular tarot card. We have Justice, and we have the Tower card, okay? And you can also look at the numerology a little bit too. The number 5 here with Unity, changes, freedom. The number 8 with the Justice card, empowerment. And balance of the material and the spiritual worlds as well with the number 8. And then the number 16 is a karmic number in numerology, which again means huge, significant external changes in our lives. So very, very important energy this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at what your special message card is, depending on your stone of choice. And again, this is from this wonderful new deck called Angel Answers. So for those of you that chose the clear quartz crystal pyramid, we're going to give these a little bit of a shuffle and ask the angels and archangels to give the appropriate message to those of you that chose the clear quartz crystal pyramid. This is exciting. This is the first time I've used this deck. So these are kind of facing you and not facing me. I'm going to just look for, this card keeps drawing my attention. So for those of you that chose the crystal quartz pyramid, it says trust. Trust, trust, trust. And it actually shows an image of a person here. Set down these cards, but a person that's in meditation. And then here above them, above the crown chakra, it's like their higher self, an image kind of their own higher divinity. And then of course this wonderful pillar of white light that goes up to universe source God. So, and actually there's a guide here as I look a little bit closer. I don't know if you can make that out here in the video, but above the higher self aspect here, there's an angel or guide. Their arms are kind of outstretched here. And then above the angel and guide, there's this connection to divine source, the rays of light up here. So to me, this is really asking you to go within this week, to do some meditation this week, to allow yourself to receive some inner guidance and have trust and faith in what messages you receive, and some of the circumstances and situations maybe that unfold this week, to trust that you're on the right path, to trust that everything is moving in accordance with divine timing for your best and highest interest this week. Okay, for those of you that chose the heart amethyst cluster, okay, so again, asking for that answer, and that one almost fell out of my hands, so I'm going to choose this one. This says choose a new direction. Okay, so I don't want you to get freaked out on this answer, because it doesn't necessarily mean you have to scrap everything that you've done, or, you know, scrap what it is you think your life path is, or your career path, or whatever. This to me is just telling you that maybe during this week you have to contemplate and think about what the next step is, okay? Maybe you had in your mind what next step you needed to take, or the timing of what it is that you're working towards. Maybe you thought that you were going to work on this project, whereas this is saying to look at maybe a different project or a secondary project first. Okay, so this isn't necessarily saying to scrap your direction or your life path, okay? I don't want you to get that idea. But because Mercury is retrograde, because Jupiter is retrograde, and Jupiter rules our belief systems, Mercury rules our thoughts and ideas, it's really a lot about the mental realm and what it is that we've been thinking since the beginning of this year. Because, you know, we started a new year, we write out our goals or think about our intentions, and, you know, we put those out to the universe, and we think, okay, this is what I'm going to do next, or this is the next step I'm going to take. All this card is saying is that you need to look at perhaps a different idea or a different next step. So again, go within, and let me look at the imagery here to see if I can get any information here. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, there's two individuals over here, and they're standing in front of this whole kind of crowd of people. And so I feel like you need to network with other people as far as what your goals are, what your ideas are. This could be networking or talking to a friend. It could be networking or talking to a person that does a reading for you, or, you know, gives you some sort of spiritual guidance, a spiritual guide either in human form or in ethereal form. It could be about meditating and asking your angels and guides to kind of give you some new information and what it is you need to do next. But to me, this is about connecting with at least one other person, if not some other people, to just get some ideas. You know, maybe you can brainstorm with 2, 3, 4, 5 different people just to get some different clarity on things or different ideas, and everybody's going to have a different perspective. And then you go within yourself and meditate, and you feel out with your own intuitive guidance what that next right step is, or what the new redirection is, or how you need to rework something and move in a different way than what you originally thought. So I really feel that this is going to, in fact, be positive, because this person also has kind of this wand with this glowing light at the end of the wand, and also here in the background on the horizon, there's this beautiful, brilliant light energy that's happening back here. So this is saying that as you move through maybe some of the uncertainty or confusion of the darker clouds up here, you're going to get back here to the inspirational light, and you're going to have clarity as you move perhaps out of this week, or maybe out of Mercury retrograde, which is going to be towards the end of January. You'll have that clarity, and you'll know what the next right move is for you. Okay, and for those of you that chose the selenite wand, let's take a look at the message for the selenite wand, people. Okay, this one they're showing me. And this one says, sort of similar than the last card, it says, look for a sign. Okay, let me take a look at the imagery since this is a brand new deck. Look for a sign. Okay, we have an image here of a master or guide, and in fact, to me, it looks a lot like the Christ energy or Jesus. And he's holding a scepter in one hand and a lightning bolt-like looking energy in the other hand, okay? So again, another indication to kind of go within and search out for and ask your angels and guides for a message. Ask for some sort of clear sign, not necessarily just having them talk to you, although that could be one way, but some of us operate more in a way that we need some sort of, you know, like it says, a clear sign. And if you actually, in meditation, ask your angels and guides for a clear sign, you're going to be sure to get it, okay? Either someone's going to call you out of the blue and give you some sort of information that helps as far as giving you a sign. Perhaps there's going to be a Facebook post from somebody that gives you this aha moment and the clarity that you're seeking. Maybe you work with animal totems, or maybe you work with numerology and the numbers, and maybe you'll get a clear sign that way. But whatever way is going to be beneficial for you, whatever way works for you, your angels and guides will make sure that it's a clear and direct sign of guidance so that you know what is the right next step for you or what needs to happen for you. And I almost feel like this sign will come kind of out of the blue, like this lightning bolt. That Uranus energy that we have this week with Venus is sort of like that lightning bolt of energy. Things come in suddenly, all of a sudden, unexpected change or inspiration or something like that. And so just like the lightning bolt, I feel like this information, this sign that you're asking for and looking for will come in quick and fast. Now let me take another quick look at this card, see if there's anything else. Of course, I feel like, again, going back to the image and how it reminds me of the Christ energy, you might want to call in Jesus, the Christ, for protection and for guidance as well as any other guide or angel that you feel specifically connected to. So I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. I want to say thank you and much gratitude and love and light to all of you for all of your support and your love and your sharing of the videos and the sharing of my Facebook posts. You can find me on YouTube at Colleen Lama, on Facebook at Colleen Lama. I also have a Facebook page called Sacred Soul Empowerment. And you can find my services on sacredsoulempowerment.com. Many different readings or healing sessions to choose from. And if I can help you in this new year of 2016 in any way, please contact me, and I would be very blessed to be able to assist you in whatever way I can. So sending out much love and light and many, many blessings to all of you.